welcome to my armor build. I don't even know what day this is. But basically I'm going to start off with the gauntlets today. And this is a prototype that I made a long time ago. Which, I mean, it fits and it works. But this here takes a lot of time and a lot of work to make, so I'm going to start now. Right, so to make this, first off, we need to do the longest bit first, and that's to make this cardboard layer that goes underneath. Now, in order to make it, I'm going to need a set of these. Now, this is just a roll of cardboard, and this is one that I made for the prototype and for the last ones that I made. But this is not enough to do it, so I'm going to have to show you how to make them. Or at least how to make them. So, this is a bucket of water. That is a computer that's running the whole show. Bucket of water, computer. So as you can tell, I'm very confident today. So I'm going to get this cardboard and stick it into the water. Now, when you fold up cardboard normally, you can do it, but it tends to return to its original shape and it's really hard to form properly. So what I do, submerge it in water and let it absorb some. Now I only do one of them at a time, but when I soak it I try to get enough in there so it's all the way through the card, not just on the surface. Now I'm just going to make like 5 of these because they're real easy to make. But yeah, you can see now just how much this is flexible in comparison to normal cardboard. Now you don't leave it in for too long, because if you leave it in for too long it just disintegrates. You need to leave it in long enough to become nice and flexible. As you can see, it's bending over like that. It would never have done that before. But also because it's been wet, it'll dry out and stay in that shape. So this is a bit of 21mm conduit. Now I'm not saying everyone has 21mm conduit, what I'm saying is I have it. But it's just a bit bigger than my finger. So I'm just going to put it on the pipe. I mean, any pipe that's about the size of your finger will do. And just roll it on. There we go, it's about the size of that now. And now for the possibly worst bit of this whole process. This is just cling film. I knocked my glue sticks over, that's all. Put that on there and it'll hold it to the size and shape of the tube. And I'm just going to put that on top of something warm for about a week, which is why I'm doing this now. It means hopefully in like 2 recording sessions time this may be usable. So again, just soak them through. Fine, you can see air bubbles coming out of it because it was that, well, I'm just waiting for it to permeate properly. But you can feel just how resistant it is into folding, so it takes a little bit, but I think I left my one last time for a month, but it was probably done after a week. I just wasn't really in any particular condition to actually be working on a project, and I shouldn't have been. Again, when doing it, try not to grab it directly by the end, because that will deform it and it means you can use slightly less of it. Just let it drain off. Then get the pipe back. And roll it on. Doesn't matter if it's a perfectly straight roll or not, you need the curvature, not the line. Just squeeze out a little bit of water so you don't have it like at the absolute maximum. Then you can just pull it off. I mean, that's the first one, they do just hold this shape, and that's exactly how I made this one years ago. Now this cardboard is nothing special, I just got it from the craft shop and it's just craft cardboard. Yeah, it's a bit thinner than like the cardboard you get on cereal boxes, but I imagine it work in a similar way. I've never tried it though with those materials then. I can't remember what I wanted this card for originally, but I think I like used 4 sheets out of the 40. And in general, if I've got a material and it's going to be useful, I will try to think of a use for it before I throw it away. So we just chuck that in. Why I dry off my hands slightly before grabbing the thing out of the water is beyond me. But as you can see from the varying times that I've had it in for, it's not 100% important that we have it in for an exact amount of time. It's just until it's malleable and soaked. But of course, the fact that it's cling filmed into wrap or into the cylinder also means that the outside layers of the water have nowhere to go but inwards, which is probably why it takes so long to dry. So that's 3 of the 5. Now probably by the end of this I'm going to have done the upper hand of the gauntlet. So like the upper arm guard section, and that's pretty much it, as well as done the bits on the chest. Because that's not done yet either. Ooh, that fault's really mild. Now this is modified from a technique for doing foam core, because when you use foam core, if you wet the cardboard on it, it'll hold the shape, meaning that if you want to put a bend into foam core, you just you know, bend it. Basically you wet the cardboard to either side, give it a good soak, then you find something that's about the bend that you want and rest the foam core between the two of them. It's how I got the bend in the first Hylian shield I made. The second shield I made was EVA foam, which is just a heat bend. I'm not the biggest fan of heat bending because it's very easy to make mistakes and it's quite nasty when you overheat it. And it's so easy to do. Okay, that's good enough. out. And roll. Again, I'm just squeezing it to try to get some of the water out, because well, this amount of saturation is a bit silly, but it's what I do. Size 4, so that makes this the last one. My apologies to anyone who's trying to resist going to the toilet. Oh yeah, splashing water, computer. It's within half a meter. Don't do that. These are things that you have to take into account while doing it. Swap around. It's much lighter on one side than the other. It's probably down to the technique they used to make it. Probably one of these got the roller and the other side got, I don't know, I would have thought 2 rollers, but that's the reason why you get a dull side and a shiny side on foil. It's the rollers. So. I'm trying to keep it flat while I'm rolling it. This probably works out as being too much, but I think I went through about 3 rolls last time. So I'm adding on an extra one for each of the thumbs because my last set of gauntlets didn't have thumbs. Hey. I know, it's a rarity from Let's Be Spelt Right. Okay, and that's enough of playing around with water. Let's move you to somewhere where I'm probably going to stand in you. Most people who live around me can't even work out where my accent's from. To be fair, it's Wales. Okay, so that's the plate I made over the last like 4 sessions. At this point, I'm going to correct some of these. It's okay, cheering is okay as an introduction. Right, so I've got to correct these little bits where they're just a little off. I might as well try to get it all to line up. Cool. Honestly, I don't know much about them. Well, I'm not speaking Welsh, so it's not a surprise you can understand me. God, I'd have difficulty if I was speaking Welsh. Right, so I've got to do the shoulder sections or the bands around there, so I'm going to measure. Well, draw them on, then find out. and a little gap, and one that meets up with the bottom. So for yes, it is. I made a lot of modifications to it, so I'm surprised people get it straight away, but yeah. Yeah, I cut the chest down significantly because I just wanted the exposed mid on it, but you do have to keep enough to make it recognizable, or it's sort of pointless. Because it's about that, like here. So size-wise, those are going to end up here. Please let it be something sensible. Oh, 4 centimeters. Yeah, so it sets 4 apart from the 5th. I'm not too sure who that is. I'm sorry, but right. Okay, we've got the junk down here. We can make parts of it. Oh. I have a lot of friends who I have a lot of friends who are fans of Critical Role, but I've not actually watched it. But there are a lot of cosplays from there. That's 4. See how many we can get out of it. Tall tea-loving cleric. I don't actually know that one, but on the upside, we know you like tea. Okay, that goes on the scrap pile because I only measured one direction. Turns out it's 4 by 5. I did figure that was mostly English who love tea. I guess. I mean, at least by reputation, it's the English who love tea. How many am I going to need? 1, 2, 3, 4. So 8 of them. Okay, then measure across 5. When it is actually visible. Ooh, if I do like 5 over here as well. I know. I really should get a cutting mat for under here. I think next table I just get a table wide one, and that should save me a lot of damage to the table. Okay, let's get that stuff out of there. Yeah. Right, so this one needs to be a 5 by 5 square. Five. Draw a line. Close enough. 5, 0. 5, 0. Draw the line. Okay, and those are 5 by 5, which are for these specific sections. Okay, and you all can go back down there. For now. I've got to use both of those later, yeah. So. Wow, you could see they're all random cuts. Wow, okay, it does not fit on either of them. Which of my neighbours is burning something is the question for today. Smells like an actual wood fire this time, unlike before where it was, you know, wood right with something else that we can never really identify. But neither of those are big enough. I actually quite like having these bits over the top because it's covering that or that seam, which means I'd have to tear this section in half in order to break now. We'll tackle it and it'll stay. I mean, I'm still going to have a lot of correcting to do at the end, but that's perfectly normal. Just squeeze it out. Wow, and you can see exactly how bad my drawing was there. Okay, that hot glue gun's got up to full temperature. Touch my skin for like a second and ow. I'm gonna have to go across these because there's a little bit there where it doesn't line up and there's a little bit here where it doesn't. It's okay, but I'm gonna need to correct it. I'll probably give this like a second pass later because it's on a curved surface and it's starting to pull up a little bit. I mean, it's alright, I can correct it, but you know, it's always possible to get things in post, but you don't wanna. It takes much longer and never looks as good. Okay, just squeeze out again, just let it dry a bit. Well, it's not dry so much, this is extruded plastic between it that we're using as adhesive. I have too many? 8, 9. Oh, that one I was ignoring was misshapen anyway and shouldn't have been there. Whoops. My bad. I'm definitely need to take the edge off these later, but it's all in a position where I can correct it, it's fine. Okay, so I'm just going to make these stupidly big. So I'm going to go for 8 by 5 and then cut it down. It's 8. 8. Draw the line. Then by 5 and 10. 5, 10. Okay. Now I'm not really bothered about the shape on this one because it's going to get cut to shreds because I made a mess. Okay, that's better. Now I've got a nice pair of scissors to go with because I'm going to cross this over by there and by here, so I'm going to go with that line. Which is correct in the end. Then just mark it round on this side so we have an idea. Then just drop in like that, and it fits. Okay, and that, I am not touching it this time. that glue gun is on full heat and it'll kill my hands. So we just line that up there. You know, it sort of starts there, sort of ends there. So it sort of follows that line. And I messed it up. Let's get the offcuts back. Where's my chalk? There it is. So we go like that. So trying a slightly different tactic this time. Now that will directly fit in. Like that. Then we just measure the gap and draw across. Of course, I say measure with very loose definitions here. I mean, it'll work, I guess. It would be better if it was like a millimeter higher, but it'll do. Okay, so we chuck that on, and I mean, it's sort of working now because these are all loose. I was sort of hoping I wouldn't have to do this, but yeah, it's sort of a thing you need occasionally. Squeeze that out. So we've got that there, and I think those are the last two that I can do for now on this side. Squidgy. I know I'm making a mess of this, but there's no explanation, just ends on the word but. This is one of the points where contact adhesive completely and utterly beats like hot glue, is you don't need to do corrections like this, ever. If you get contact adhesive wrong, give up, start over. you've been watching the build, you'll know that's not how it works. Okay, so hopefully they're all held down enough to work for now. And we've got large sections done around there. So hopefully in about an hour or so, those will be dry and then we can do the front ones. Which means now I need to make arm guards because, well, in the original drawings we have them. So let's get me templatey paper. If this goes in the water, I will be upset. So, and we trace around my arm whenever I find pain. Now we only need the forearm section, so we don't need the full thing, but it's about time I admit this pen's terrible. Move on. Yep, that was the bin. Most part about the fingers and the elbow is here. Now this is being done for quick measurement purposes, so of course this section is not correct to the size, but as we need to know the approximate sizes of stuff, I'll probably think for an easier, actually no I won't, I've worked out how to do this now. So I mean, that's a bit longer, so if we cut it back to about here, so about there-ish, that's about the length of arm guard, right? Along there, doesn't go all the way up to the elbow. So yeah, basically end up with an arm guard about there. So we do that, now we know what length it is. This is the most ridiculous roundabout way I've ever done it, but that's what making it up on the fly does. Now fortunately my arms are symmetrical, so 17 centimeters each should be fine. Just measure it out 17. Now this is almost the full width of my arm and much bigger than the actual thing will be, so we just measure it across quickly, so it's 14. So if we just make it 2 loads of 14, we should be fine. Okay, we shouldn't be fine, we should have too much, but too much is preferable at this point. Okay, yeah, it really is 14. I was looking at it thinking, that's too small. But that happens with most things that I do with my body. I measure it and it's just like, am I really that small? Because the neatness of these cuts does not matter. I know that's an odd thing to say, but they're going to be significantly cut back anyway, so we'll be fine. Now that L just represents the length. Why did I cut 2 of them? Alright, just in case I need to redo it at any point. So I'm going to say is we run from about there. So it's over the top and so we've just sort of cut that type of shape into it. These are a lot smaller than I thought they'd be. Like, genuinely, I was expecting a lot bigger, but... Okay, so that sort of thing. Maybe a little bit thinner up at the front. Like that. Okay, that feels about right. Give me a little bit of a line there so I can get a straight edge. By the way, when I'm chucking everything on the floor, I tidy up at the ends. It takes some time to tidy up, but... Okay, let's have a look compared to my original drawing, because... well, it's about time I actually looked at the thing for this. Okay, so we've got that shape, and the original is that shape. I mean, it sort of works. I just don't have the bit that goes over the hand, but... okay, let's... Okay, so it's sort of that-ish shape for the hand. So for the guard over it, it's just going to end up being like this. So we end up sort of that shape. So we've got that on the arm and then that on the top of the hand. like that. So, I mean, it'll work, but I've started the fingers already, so you know what's coming there. And that's reversible, that one, because the hand shape isn't even, not so reversible. So now I need to get these shapes out of foam, which is going to be easy enough, to be fair. Unfortunately, I've decided to do that ribbon structure across the whole thing, so it's going to be quite a bit of work for me. Wow, that's a lot bigger than I expected. What? Okay, so change of plans. I mean, you can see how I change plans on the fly, and this is why I don't do drawings so much, is because I know I change like this. A little bit more. Okay. So I mean, there you go. So much easier. Right, so I can't get that out of there. So what I'm going to have to do, my phone somewhere, I'm not going to smash it by accident. Good enough. Let's just cut this out so I've got another one. How much have I got left? Just up and around. And that's two of them. There you go. This is not the way to make a costume symmetrical, by the way. This is how to correct when you've messed up. Okay, doesn't matter which side they go on, it's fine. Then I need to get this little circle somewhere out of this. Okay, so that's left and right marked out, so we now know what it is. Now we need to do the left hand side one. Probably won't get it out of that bit or this bit because they're too small. But we can definitely get it out of this one. So as you can see, when I go down to make it up as I go along mode, it becomes far more of a messy job to make things. Which is why drawings are great. Okay, and it's now. Go take a little bit, it's now. Now, of course, when cutting, pay attention and avoid cutting towards yourself as much as possible. And sometimes it just happens, but if you notice, stop. Okay, and the guard over the left. So now comes the bit that I particularly dislike. Hot air gun. There's not so much dislike of the hot air gun, it's more the fact that if I get this wrong, it's not good for my health. But I intend to do very little of it. This is going to be like 5 to 10 seconds of hot air, and then the rest's just, yeah, it's in shape done. I really need to clean. I swear I've cleaned this thing out before. I'm doing it for the sheer minimum of time. I used to do it for like 30-40 seconds and it would burn all the time. But that way there, we've now got, it's relatively arm shaped. We don't need it fully arm shaped, it'll be pulled into shape by the layers on top. I just don't want it to be too resistant to the top layers, that's all. Does this need any work done to it? A little bit, yeah. But as you can see, they've now held their shape, which is the point of heat forming. And now hold hand shape. Of course, when I'm bending it, I give it a more extreme bend because it flexes back a little bit when it's done. I went too far with that one. Whoops. I saw it burn a little bit. Okay, and the right hand, and it fits. get that fan going. Let's get the fan going so we get some air blowing around. But yeah, doing that is pretty dangerous and it's something you don't want to do. When I was working on my Space Marine, I literally did like 5 hours of work like that in a contained room. The air was completely toxic, had difficulty breathing and nearly collapsed. And that's why I give so many safety warnings about it, because I nearly collapsed to it. So we just mark up the centers. Okay, so we're going to have a little rim around the edge again. We're basically doing the same as, well, I'm doing the same as I did on the waist plates and the leg plates and XYZ at this point, just to give it a rimmed edge. Close enough. Okay, nope, that one's wrong. So yeah, but we're not going to be quite as thick with these. So I'm just going to cut them in half. I don't care if half of it is then thrown away because of overthink, but we don't want the ridges to be quite so big as they were with the chest and waist plates. You know, if you get ridges that big and put them on there, it's going to look ridiculous. So we're going to need 4 of we're just going to need 8 of these. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's number 8. Of course, around the gloves we're going to need the same, so like that. And they'll be the same, so we need 3 for each of them as well. Just 1. Just a bit too short. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Just in case we need one. So this should be back up to dangerous temperatures again. Again, there's no complex curves on this one, so I'm not that worried. mean, those waist plates had some really complicated curves to them, so I wouldn't want to mess with that. Also, it doesn't matter how pretty these look, they're just a raised surface to push down onto. Well, to hold up the thing a bit, but... Okay, so we've got that little bit there. A center line through this one, and we can fill them in as we go. Eleanor, then I know what I'm filling in. And the reason that I'm doing them like this, like with all this ribbing, I don't imagine the armor in the show is actually plate, because I just don't see that being used for martial arts at all. It's a bad idea. I see it being like padded cloth, and all of these raised sections are the padding. Okay, so we chuck them there for safekeeping. Bring back the chest plate. Hopefully after this one we can just remove all the tape and it's holding together, yes, that word. Let's get this last little bit. I might tack some of those edges together, they don't look perfect. But as you can see, they are now pretty much stuck down flat, and that's what we needed, so. That should hold that down flat. Let's grab another stick. Okay, I now need a little bit of waste to use, so here's one. It's the exact one I was using before. Those down flat. Now we've only got this side left. When it works properly, it works really well. When it doesn't, well... Well, that was my finger. Okay, so I should really mention things about burns at this point. How bad something's burnt is determined with temperature and exposure time. So most of the time when I'm just like tapping the stuff on this, it's not burning me because it's really, really short contact and that hot glue gun doesn't get very hot compared to the other ones, which will burn you instantly. Now it's probably just broken and that's the reason it's acting like it is. But so yes, I need to discourage people from touching them. There's a rule. I'm just finding every spot where basically you can fold it and it'll break apart and then bring glue in it. You know, anywhere it's likely to happen. Just quickly. Okay, it's decided to go into the high end of the heat cycle, so I shouldn't touch it anymore. It'll cool down in a bit and then it'll be okay again, but... Okay, so... that's essentially done at this point. You know, I've still got to deal with all of the spider webs across it, and I got some more things to correct at the end. I'm going to have to give it another once over later, but for now that's done. Which means I've got to go back to these. I think I could probably get a few of them out there. 1, 2, 3, 4 maybe? So I'll see what I can get out of it, then I'll make a decision. So just stick down that bit there, and remember the fact this is the front. From some direction it'll look like an F, okay? So yeah, this is the stuff that I've been cutting off, going through the build, and just chucking on the floor. When I chuck stuff on the floor, it's never permanently gone. I've just got it there for storage purposes. So basically, I just don't want it on the table. And just hold it there for a few seconds while it dries. Just do one layer going all the way across. And squeeze that down. Just one little bit on the end there. Okay, and we end up with the same ribbed structure as before, which is what we wanted. And just do a quick rim around the edge. Like such. Just do a quick one around here too. So like this. Where is my little offcut? Do I care? I've got loads of them. The only reason I clean up the edges of these is so it's easier to cut it out afterwards. So I'm not cutting through the plastic. It's not perfect, but little ribbed surface, it works. Now we have enough surface here to do another one, so I'm just going to quickly do that. Just a reminder of where the front is, because I mean, y'all may laugh, but when you come down to it, you really need to know where the front is. Let's just say it's something you're going to need later on, and I've experienced not being able to find the front enough that I know I need to know where it is. Okay, it's been down for a little bit. Another line. And then just a little bit on the ends. Okay, and then just around the edges. And just a little bit there, and around here. The other advantage of it being so low temperature as not to burn much and often means it dries off in a few seconds. As you can see, got another ripped section there. It's getting to be a bit of a mess. Okay, and that's the second one. So again, that just goes over the arm like that. To reaffirm the shape a little bit. And of course it's going to have like elastic holding it down as well, so it's going to be a bit more reinforced than it currently is, but okay, so RF, LF, so we've got the front left. Oof, that's going to be close. Okay, that'll work. So yeah, I'm not going to risk just destroying one of these, just to try to get it right. It's going to be much more of an extreme curve than on any of the others because it's so much smaller. Get off. Yeah, it's heating up again, so that bit down there is getting a bit tougher. But yeah, we still got the ribbed section, which is what we wanted. So we just do the last bit of the runaround, and ooh, I missed a bit. Yep, nothing else is lifting up, so we're okay. Just clean that out. So that's the left front. Nope, won't cover it. I don't think we have anything left on that bit that will cover it. I don't have any more waste of that size, so to the foam. Oh, just. Back in the bin you go. Okay, so front first. And just do a line there. So we've got a little fold over like that. Yeah, that's way, way, way too hot for what it's meant to be. And I can actually smell it melting the foam when it touches it, and it shouldn't be doing that at all. Let's just carry on. Now, do I have any spare long strips? Yes, I do. Now, as you can imagine, that running all the way around the outside would be quite a significant amount of it taken up. So I'm going to cut it in half. Because of the massively reduced size, I'm going to cut it in half, okay? That's the good wording for what I'm doing. Right front, left front. Okay, so they know where I identified. So now I've got to try to cut a straight line with scissors. Wow, this is difficult with I think this is about the limit of what my eyes can do. And we now have 2 lengths. Hopefully that'll be enough. There's just a little bit of layering over like that. And of course I can knock that off. It's one of the 5 things making noise in here. Okay, so just basically working the rim around the edge. Okay, the extrusion nozzle itself is too hot, but the glue coming out isn't too hot because it's not burning the foam, just me. I think what's actually happened is I'm extruding it too fast. But yeah, there you go. 1 wrist guard-ish. This is not going to be enough, is it? No, I have to cut another one. Well, another 1 or 2 later, I'm sure we'll be fine. Okay, we start off from the back. Okay, just curve it off a little bit so it looks relatively reasonable. Yeah, okay, we're back to normal now. Okay, let's just carry on going around with that. Okay, and the problem is cutting like this size is really difficult. And I mean seriously hard. If you've ever done it, you'd know. But this stuff is not very, or this foam isn't very resistant. So when you go to cut it, it'll just bend. But the second one, it's right and left and right and left. Now neither of these are long enough, and I don't really... It'd be the least waste, I guess, just to have it look a bit worse. Okay, do I ever need like offcuts of the more crap stuff? Yes, but none of them are long enough. Just making a quick decision now whether or not to use the good stuff or not. I mean, to be fair, this is an offcut that was going in the trash, so anything that I can save is an advantage in the long run. Okay, so we start off around the back, as per usual. Yeah, this stuff doesn't like to bend as much. It's why you don't. That's why I don't like to use it like this. Oh well, we'll see at the end. Last bit. You can see there it ends up being far more harsh than it would otherwise, but yeah, come on, let's just use these 2 bits. A little bit on the end. Is my CPU unhappy about what's going on? It's been like about, what, 50–60% for all the way through this? I mean, I'd be unhappy if I was running in those conditions. There are bits to clean up, but yeah, I prefer that style. But yeah, you end up, that's going to be pulled around anyway, but it's basically like that. But that's way too tall. I'm going to need to do something about that. Oh well, the next phase is grinding anyway, so... Unfortunately, it also gets loud because when you grind anything, it gets loud. So that's the wrist guards and the top end of the gauntlet. So I'm just going to correct the banding around these, because some of them are too small, some of them are too big, none of them are just right, because it's me. Okay, sorry, a bit of tape here. We get rid of that bit because it's unnecessary. Same with that bit. Okay, and a little bit around here where we get a little bit too big. Okay, and up here, get this bit. And this little bit. This is just go around slowly correct all the little bits that I cocked up while I was making it. Section. It's okay, there's quite a few of them that I've got to correct out, like this. And by that, that's okay. That one's okay. They're all stuck down properly. I have to argue that some of this stuff just won't be noticed, so... And basically you correct it all later anyway. And the fact is, I've got to cut one side of this open to get me in and out of it, because it's not so tight that it's not wearable, but it is too tight to get in and back out. So at this point, I have to go get some protective gear and my grinder. Wow, you can't see anything now? Okay, no, you can see very little that far back. Okay, so we should be done with glue at this point, at least for like a week, while we're waiting for that cardboard to dry off. So this is where we get all grindy, and I'm hopefully going to start where nobody will really notice and then work my way up. There is an opportunity to pull up the full set because I haven't done it for a while. I mean, yeah, that seems perfectly stable and safe. those two probably what I'm going to be using. And this. Forgets to pull out the actual tool she's going to be using. Yep, that's definitely a me thing. Now this process is going to make a lot of dust, so dust mask. There's not much ventilation will actually help with here, because it's not like it's a gas that you can get out, and I'm just going to cover the house with dust otherwise. And it's not like we're filling the air with actual toxic materials, just particulates. So this one you don't need a chemical filter on the mask, you just need a P filter. I think it's a P. Yep. So I don't need the AB, but I'm just going to wear it anyway. Oh look, it's the one I was using before. And yep, that's eye protection as well. You only get one set of them, you ain't getting it back. Okay, so those headphones go over there somewhere safe. And hearing protection, yay! So yeah, almost guaranteed I'm going to turn the microphone down a bit, just so it doesn't deafen anyone, but a warning to people with headphones, I guess. Hello? Okay, hopefully you can hear me. Okay, so after that, we now have a relatively rounded edge on one side. Now I've got to try to do the other one without wrecking the whole thing. right, we now got two curved edges. One of them looks like ass, but you can see all my mistakes. Whoop, missed it. Okay, just a nice level edge-ish now. This thing is terrifying to use, so... That's not the right thing. Much better. Okay, let's see how this little one works. No. Review of that one's quality? Nope, terrible.
I think that looks a lot nicer. I think I'll keep that. Okay, so just the chest plate to go. It's basically just curve off all these edges and up around here and down back there and down here. Yeah, there's a lot. I'm just go over. Okay, so last bit is just to the straps and then I am done. Okay, that's literally the end of my bravery for the day. That thing is scary. Where's my brush? Doesn't matter, it's based on this anyway. Right. Give a few minutes before we allow that to a few minutes, let the dust settle before I take my mask off, because well, if I breathe this stuff in, we'd know why. Let's just find that little brush so I can clean stuff off. And get this lot off the floor. There it is. That's pretty important when you finish. Just clean off your tools, make sure everything's in good condition. You also check them when you first open them up as well, especially when it's a high-speed spinning thing like that, because, you know, they are pretty dangerous. And at this point I can turn the volume back up. Okay, so now you can hear me properly. So as I said, just make sure that everything's in good condition before you start if you're going to use tools like that. Because if it's damaged, it can cause big problems for you. And those discs flies apart, so you're in protection for a reason. occasionally. There's no reason to have any dust on this, but it's best to clean up everything anyway. You don't really want this stuff getting anywhere it's not meant to. And that's everything of that cleaned up. Even the seat's covered in it. And shockingly, for the majority of the framework, that's it. Like, we're done. But next up is the gauntlets, the layers between, or the stuff between them, the fingers. Starts to take a lot of work. I don't need those anymore, so they can go down the back hole. Hopefully the hot air gun is now cooled off. Okay, it's now cold. Let's get this thing away. Clean it out. And of course, when you buy these, they're not really intended for cosplayers, because nothing really is. So this is made for wallpaper stripping. Quick, turn off the heater because we're not going to feel much longer, we're pretty much done. Okay. And that's it for this released. Oh.
Oh, it's nice being able to breathe again. To be fair, this is actually quite a nice mask. It's really nice to breathe through and it doesn't make much difference to me. I'm going to have to replace it soon enough though because the chemical filter on it's going, but the particulate filter should be fine. Whoops, should not have put food stuff in here. Bad me. So I'm going to finish up there and just continue tidying the room for like the next half hour. I mean, hopefully you've enjoyed and might maybe learnt something. You never really know. Hopefully it's been useful in some way. So thanks for coming and hopefully see you next time. I mean, if you don't, that's fine. Huh? Okay. So, bye. Well, it take a little bit to roll out my armour across the thing. Yeah, that's everything we've made so far. which is everything but the hands on the gauntlets. So, okay.